Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, your wife's boyfriend. Good morning, Binky. Good morning, Cowboy. Good morning, Eric, Franklin, PD, Carpenter, Brad. Good morning. How are y'all doing? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dylan. Good morning, Franklin, PD, Carpenter, Casey. Good morning, RS. Good morning, Jafar. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Casey, Ben. Good morning, Frank's Real Sport. Good morning, Jake's. Jake U. Good morning, Not a Suit. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, top of the morning. Happy birthday to Joe Donut. Good morning, Lone Wolf. Good morning, Nick, Chansu, Casey, Zio, GP, Chris, Where We Roam, Fisted, Adam, Henry. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? Good morning, Adam. Good morning, Ustri. Good morning, Al. Everybody's doing well this morning? All right, I'm going to turn this music down. Good morning. Good morning, Dana. Good morning, Little Big Bear. All right, we're going to switch it over. Good morning, Eddie. Good morning, AK. Greetings, Euro Boomer. Hope everybody's doing well. Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. Right off the bat. Good morning, San. Okay, we have to talk about something real quick before the start of this morning, okay? We only got a few minutes. It's important to talk about this. We need to get this off the table here. A couple things. We are coming into FOMC today. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Quantum Leap. Good morning, Kari. Good morning, Mihai. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Josh, brother. Azul Blue. Otter Pocket 2, Frederick, Inlight Productions. Good morning to everybody out there. Hope everybody is doing well this morning. Good morning. Good morning, MB. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. So we're going to have a little conversation here this morning. I'm going to keep this real short, okay? The ban hammer is out. Good morning, Jason. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to discuss it again at this point. The ban hammer is out. Now, for the rest of you out there, good morning, Michael. I can't have poisoning inside the stream, so I'm going to leave it there, okay? Now, we have to talk about something this morning. I want to show you guys a couple things critical to get this information out to you, okay? I want all of you to remember a few things. We called this turn above here, okay? We rode this rip up together here. We called this turn down here. I remember when we were down here around 460, and everybody said it was going up. We traded this up and down and up again. We traded this down, and right? We traded this down over here and this down over here. I want you to remember that no one thought it was going to 450. There was a few. I think Master Wu and Twitter thought 450 and we're done. We were talking about going lower to 4,400. We were talking about going lower to 428. We talked about going down to 420. And as we got down here, we talked about going down to 409, 410, 418, somewhere in there. One last move down here, while no one was talking about that. Now, I have some issues. So when you go down this much, damage is done. But also at the same time, like calling the Apple top at 190, if you trade up to 186, that's good enough. Another thing is that the market can change at any time. During one of these moves down here, we were supposed to snap back trade up at that time to roughly 45.50. You know that did not happen, right? Everyone stayed long in here because they were told we were going up. And we did not go up. We were rejected. We came back down. This could have been the test down here. 1 and 2. Now, it is most certainly, but the Bears still think, right, and I still think to an extent, that the test is we come up here, we reject, and we come back down one more time. Okay, and this is still on the table here. I need you to understand that. Now, there was a trade last year, last summer at some point in 2021, that we did not do this retest. And we just traded higher. And it was a very similar setup. So I want you guys to understand that as we get into today, there's a few things going on. Typically with FOMC, they will still pause the market. So we could trade just sideways off the bell here. Now, I want to tell you guys to buy my calls off the bell here today, but I'm going to be honest with you. There is a fair chance off the bell that we don't trade higher. We could wait to trade higher to this major resistance above here. Later in the day, we could come off the bell and just do this kind of nonsense, and boom. We could come off the bell and trade up here, right? Then trade down into the 2 o'clock hour. We could come into the bell and blast straight through here. Or we come up here to this area or just slightly above. And if we have any bad earnings, trade back down and do this retest way down here. We could even trade above here and come back down next week after all of the big big tech is done reporting, okay? So keep that on your plate. And like always, we talk about trading to the level, right? Getting out of your trade and then picking it up once again if it continues on. We don't ever talk around here about going short here, right? Diamond handing it, holding that short down here, diamond handing it, going short down here, diamond handing it, going short down here, diamond handing it, and then going short down here. And if we don't do this one last breakthrough, you know, if we end up breaking above here, here, and here, you come on my channel and blame me. I don't want to fucking hear it. Okay? Because this happened in March too. And when this happened in March 2020, I do remember people just continuing to diamond hand. The bear talk got so unreal that we were told that the market was crashing. Right? And meanwhile, everybody has moved on. And you're the only one sitting there holding the bags. So this is not that channel. This will never become that channel. If you want that channel, you need to go elsewhere. Okay? We can't have it. And we can't have it for a reason, okay? Even if you're committed to a viewpoint on the markets, if the market decides it's going somewhere else, this is not how you ever trade it. You take your profit and you move on. You take your profit and you move on. There was a time that you could trade this market where directionally you could almost guarantee it was going to where you wanted it to go. These days, too many people trade this market, and it never does that anymore. You have to be a quicker trader. You have to be a quicker investor until it hits your price target, okay? And you can't stay in your price target if it's close enough. Does that make sense? I want to make sure that that makes sense because there is a lot of pollution out there on the internet telling you that, let's say we come down here, right? And we only got to this point. If we make this breakthrough here and start moving this way, there's a lot of people on the internet that's going to tell you, well, you have to stay in that short because that's your thesis. You, even though you have your thesis and your plan, have to always adjust to what's actually happening. Be conscious of that. This is where people get burned. They get burned here. They get burned here, right? And bulls get burned up here. Okay, so if we're bullish here right now, we know we're going up here right now. Bulls can get burned here just like bears can get burned saying we have to go to 408 or you were wrong. Okay, so I need you to understand that you always have to be nimble. You always have to be able to take profit. And the last part is that if you're trading naked calls, right, which is a bearish position here, if you're naked and you're single holding, diamond handing anything this way, if you were diamond handing, if you come into my channel and you tell me that you're going up 500 points with just naked, like not naked, some of you guys don't understand my terminology, so I'll keep it simple. If you're just diamond handing 500 Cs today until May, and we end up going up 300, 400 points, but then crashed back down, I don't want to fucking hear you complaining. You guys understand that? You guys need to have protection on. You have to put the right risk on. You have to take profit in your trades. You guys have to as traders. I need you to understand that as we move forward. Now it's 9:21, okay? Congratulations to anybody that made money overnight. Anybody, I hope that nobody got caught yesterday in that short, because I know that short, right, looked great into the close. I remember that when we took that long position, Microsoft had already sold off. Everything was pointing towards a market collapse overnight, but there were a few key indicators that we were looking at. There's a few key indicators. For me, it was the $10 million in QQQ calls right before the bell. It was a block trade. It was long. It was very unusual. Second problem that I had, the initial numbers that came out were a hit on Microsoft. We didn't know what the guidance was at that point. And then the severity of the sell down yesterday before the close, coupled with the severity of the selling off in the first 10 minutes of that close at 4:10, 4 o'clock, 4:10, I'm like, wow, we're down 2 to 3%. And it hasn't even hit the SPY or the Qs yet. How deep of a sell-off is infecting other single stocks, not just Amazon. And you're talking about dropping the market, let's say 3 to 5% overnight, and then where does it go at the bell? It was slightly concerning, because then you're talking about a drop of like 10% in overnight into FOMC. I just wasn't buying it. And so I ended up taking the long. And you had it showed yesterday in the chart. 1, 2, 3 right at the bell, and we're going to rip this thing higher this morning, okay? Now, we could rip this higher. We could trade this higher off the bell this morning for the first 15 minutes, half an hour. We could trade this higher, whatever. I want you to pay attention to a rejection area here. We're going to watch it this morning right off the bell. We could red bar it down to fake out and move up. But right off the bell this morning, I always urge you to take your profit off the table. You can always re-enter a trade a second time and take this higher. You guys know that I'm famous for selling off the bell. Even if I've bought a trade the night before, taking my profit is critical. Nobody can ever yell at you for taking your profit from a trade, okay? No, you don't have to sit in a trade. You know, when I've made my 3,000% trades, 5,000% trades, it's not because I diamond-handed for 3 weeks. It's typically a trade that's overnight. It's typically a trade that lasted just the day. It's never something that I've held for months on end, a position that's months on end, unless it has huge protection, unless it's dated fucking a year out, something crazy like that, right? But just not what you and I know we're talking about this morning, okay? You take profit at stages along the way, re-enter the trade. We do that with spreads. We do it with any position that we're in. You have to actively manage, even if you're an investor. Have price targets in mind for where you're looking to take profit, and then on pullbacks, re-enter that active investor trade, right? Even if you're an investor, you have to do that. The banks manage their own investments the same way. If a trade is not going your way, you should be nimble enough to be able to switch, or to at least protect your positions if they're going the wrong way, if you're going to ride them naked. If you're coming down this way, even on this applies for the upside. If you're going down and we get a pullback, you should be able to even stay in your position, but take this long up here to cover any kind of problems that might take place down the road. Had we not come back down here, you would have at least covered the position that you were in by going long, even if you're going to stay in your short going down this direction here, okay? All right, I'll check out my DM. So I just want you guys to see what's happening off the bell this morning. This is the critical thing you need to see. I want you to look at these levels down below here, right? You've got somewhere down here, 438, 434, 4265, right? This should be a little bit higher. These move up every day. I haven't had a chance to adjust my... I do want you to be aware, though, if we reject at any point any bad news, Any weakness. So you might even see an FOMC, we'll talk about this later. You might see some weakness for a ride higher, right? To blast through. If we reject, if we come above this area of resistance, trail back down and come back down here, if like Friday, it could happen today, it could happen next week. There's a fair chance that we trade back down still into that 408, 418. I want you to be aware of that as we trade into today. I want you to always have this in the back of your mind, okay? A retest down below here. Now, as we trade higher, that lower number will come higher. It could go from 400 or so, 390 or so. It could move. It will move up as we trade higher, but it's always a specter in the background that we come back to revisit this lower level as we move forward. And yes, you can break through here and never see it again. The power of what took place, what happened yesterday into the close was critical. The banks showed their hand yesterday. When they rebought everything up yesterday into that, or after that bell yesterday, it was like they pulled their pants down and they showed themselves. They showed they were long this market. They showed they were willing to buy this market. And by them showing that to the bulls have to, at that point, adjust. The bears have to adjust and realize that they are going to take it long, right? That's what they're going to do. Well, I got to look at my portfolio here so I can take my winnings off the table this morning. Got to make my money. I'm going to sell all my bags to all the bulls this morning. Here, I got a bunch of bags for everybody out there to buy this morning. All you FOMO bulls. I should just stay long here, to be honest with you. But I'm going to take some money off the table. I'm going to count my dollars. Good to see all of you this morning. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Cheers to all of you. Hey, aloha, Miro. Or is that you? Miro, are you in Hawaii or somebody else is in Hawaii or Italy? Miro, good morning, brother. Good to see you. It's good to see anybody out there that's been following me for the longest amount of time. Any of you guys have been following me for the past year or so, whatever out there, I want to say thank you for sticking around. We got one more minute. Discipline, baby. Discipline. Bags, baby. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, son. Good morning, Hot, Hot, Hot. Good morning, Satchel. Good morning, William. Good morning, Joshua. We've got one more minute to the bell. Can't wait. I don't even know what that print is right now. It's so freaking stupid. Wait till that premium kicks in this morning, boys. I got to pay attention to that. I'm going to bring up the book map right now. You guys have everything you need to know at this point this morning. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for following along. Any of you that followed me on that trade yesterday, congratulations this morning. Good morning. How do those calls look now? Boom. Thank you for playing. 400% banger right off the bell. 400% winner. Chicken dinner. Ring, 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 ring. Thank you very much for playing. Good morning. How you like them apples? Thank you for playing. Thank you for playing. Burr, baby, burr. Good morning, everybody. All right, so you guys got, hopefully if you guys hadn't seen the first part of this feed, please go back and check it because there are some resistance moments. Mute him. I will. All right. Here we go. Here, give me just a second. Let me get this up for you. You guys want to watch Tesla this morning? You want to watch the SPY then, Tesla? What do you guys want to watch this morning? Yeah, there'll be no more poisoning my feeds. There'll be no more poisoning us ready to take trades that print. It's done. Sit back. Listen, you guys. I love you guys when you talk to each other, when you discuss ideas. But I can't have the feed poisoned anymore. I can't have people jumping in the feed. They can make their own feed. They can make their own channel. They can tell everybody else what they think. But I can't have that in my feed. All right, we're going to bring up some Tesla this morning because I know the Tesla bulls want to know what's up. We've got some misfit calls coming in this morning. We're going to have to belt this morning, just a heads up. We've got people loading the boat on NVIDIA, NVDA, SPY, PayPal, Plug, American Airlines, Apple, Microsoft coming out with some golden tickets. February 25, 315C for $1.54 million. There's a lot of misfit calls coming in this morning. I do want to warn you, if you're going to take longs in Microsoft, give it a minute to breathe. Okay, just give it a minute to breathe so that you can get in on a bounce. Just give it a minute to breathe before you enter these trades. There is a ton of tech calls coming in right now. Ton of SPY calls coming in this morning. Tesla. American Airlines calls coming in this morning. I do see one Tesla put coming in January 28th, 850p. It's for January 28th. It's only $300,000, but it is noteworthy. The cash gap fill from yesterday, it's interesting. There's kind of two of them. There's one right here, right at this top yesterday at 439.39. The next cash gap fill is somewhere down between 431.45 and 428.05. It wouldn't be a shocker to see us trade down. That people are going to think we had a gap. We had a gap last night. We kind of did have a gap last night. Yeah, bullish call bets on. You see this down below here, 426. Breathe this morning if you want to enter this market so that you can grab the right long. Don't just buy right off the bell, right? I told you that before the open this morning. Said I want to sell my calls to you, but you don't want to buy them right away. You want to give it a second, let it breathe, and then you enter. We're going to add the add-on this morning. We're going to get the hero indicator. We know there's buyers this morning. No doubt about it. Looks like the gig is up on nobody knowing that we can take the opposite side of the trade anymore. I noticed it on Wall Street Bets last night. I noticed it on Twitter. Everybody's saying, you just trade the opposite side of where everybody is. So I'm thinking that the gig is out. Everybody knows that you trade the opposite side. So that's concerning to me this morning. Looks like you've got some support down below here at 436.17. Kind of a wonky place. This is right where the bell close was, 436.17 or so. Look for a support here. What do I think about AMD long here? Tesla hero indicator is a little positive. Somehow green, somehow still green. Well, as soon as this loads up, we're going to check on Tesla. More spies are coming in this morning. Spy, Misfit. HUTS has some calls coming in. What are my thoughts on AMD? I love trading AMD. It is one of the first tech stocks that I learned how to trade a very long time ago. If you want to know where I want to trade it from, I want to trade it from 75 bucks. Do I think we get to $75? I don't know. Because even here at 110 bucks, it is kind of cheap at this point. What I would rather do to trade AMD, the one thing about AMD too is they typically, if they have a good ER, they will trade up. They've had some really good ones. But for an ER trade, I would say that you trade the run-up and get out before actual ER. One other thing you could do is trade strangles. I always like strangles on volatile tickers. I like playing strangles on Tesla. Everybody trades strangles on Tesla. So you could look up strangles and trade a strangle on Tesla. Even today, you could trade a strangle on Tesla still. So we talked yesterday or this morning before the open. And we've still got the sellers above up here. They're all lined up right at 441.71. Yesterday, they were down below at 440. Right, we talked about this number this morning. You've got some more sellers right here at 441. Just be conscious of these sellers above here. Be conscious that bears are going to want to take a stand here. Be conscious that even if we break through, that bears are going to want to reject this, even if it takes 2 weeks. Once the major earnings are done, they want to see a retest down below. I don't blame them, and technically we should retest the lows, but we don't have to. Always be open to that. We'll look at Tesla next. Yeah, the BOC rate decision is on deck in 20 minutes. Could be fireworks considering today's vol. Yep. Good morning, everybody. Piton falling to the right price. 0. We do have some puts coming in on Piton this morning. January 28th, 28p. Haven't even looked yet on my own position here. I usually have a watch list up. I haven't had the time to put my watch list up yet. Oh, yeah, baby. You know, I think I got to say something, okay? I think I'm going to diamond hand these puts right into their ER. And the reason that I'm going to diamond hand these puts into their ER is because I believe it's the ethics of it. It has to do with, it's almost close to Nikola, like the NKLA. It rubs me wrong. Nikola rubbed me wrong too, because they're not honest with their investors. And I don't like that dishonesty. Yeah, I want to diamond hand these Piton puts. I believe. I'm a little disturbed that they weren't honest. They didn't upgrade their ERs. They knew about this a long time ago, right? What they did was they sold out at the top. They took all their money and ran. First they did that, right? We have calls coming in on CCL. Lots of airline calls off the bell this morning. Pay attention to jets. Pay attention to CCL. BA had a good morning. Yeah, I wish companies are rubbing me too. Yeah, it bothers me when companies do that. It's not a good. I don't like when they take the money and run, but then once the other stuff started leaking out, the fact that instead of partnering up with a great bike company, we have some great bike companies in this country. Great American-made bike companies. You could have teamed up with an outdoor bike company. I ride mountain bikes. I used to ride more than I do now because I don't live in the mountains anymore. But even in the summer, still here in Michigan, I ride single track here. You know, I go out to the Bookmap Mountains out in Colorado. I ride down in southern Utah. They could have partnered up with a great American-made bike manufacturer. Would have boomed the stock, even if you had to wait 2 years for a bike. Put video cameras on it, put all kinds of monitors on it. The Beckys and the stay-at-home CaptainJimJameses would have loved it. Okay, so we have some buyers stepping in once again on the SPY. You guys ready? You want to be seeing this? Drum roll, please. SPY, January 28th, 439C, $3 million. AMD, January 28th, 112C, $254,000. QQQ's puts coming out of the woodwork, 365C, for like, I don't know, $700,000-$800,000. SPY, January 28th, 439C, $1.2 million. That is the kind of flow that Daddy wants to see to get bullish. That's the kind of flow that I want to see to get bullish. That will impact Tesla today, whether you like it or not. That should make Tesla go up today, whether you like it or not. Just love seeing Piton just get buried off this bell. Love it. Just love watching Piton burn. Can't say I don't love seeing it this morning. So let's take a look at Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's a good strangle, without a doubt. Let's see where we have some support here. I made some money. I'll take a Tesla trade with you this morning. Let's take a Tesla trade. I'm down to take a Tesla trade. Let's take a Tesla trade this morning. I believe. Not only do I believe in Tesla. Not only do I believe. Look at these. How are the price of these calls so expensive? Not only do I believe in Tesla, but they've made me so much money that I can give some money back to the cause. I can give the cause back some money. I don't mind paying back what the cause gave me. I'm down to play some Tesla. Let's play some Tesla this morning. I'll put some money back into the Tesla pot. It's like pouring one out for homie. Why are you playing Tesla? Why are you buying calls on Tesla the day before you are? Because they've made me so much money. That's why. That's why. That's why I'm playing some Tesla. I'll throw a little bit of bear out there. I'll tip my 40 to Tesla gang today. What is going on here? All right. I'm in Tesla. There we go. I am long Tesla. Diamond hand, baby. Let's trade this. Let's trade it up today. I haven't played Tesla in a while. We're diddling in the middle on Tesla this morning. I'm gonna diamond hand these bad boys into. I mean, dude, I'm holding. I know my Piton's gonna print. We have ER after the close today. We're probably gonna sell it down like something crazy at like 345. Just fall 70, 90 points. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna diamond hand them, and then if I have to dollar cost average in for that bell, I'm gonna do it. I want to pay attention to the ER statement today. I want to listen to Elon Musk today. I remember the last time that he was on his ER, and I remember when they were being all jerky towards him. Bunch of smartasses thinking they could talk shit to Elon. Let's trip him up with big words. Let's twist what he's saying. I was very upset. No, at the time when it happened, right? I was upset because Elon, to me, right? It's the wrong place for him, right? I want him to be in a more controlled environment. I want him to always look good. He should always look good. He's the CEO of one of my favorite companies. You're not there to sabotage him. So, what do I think about that? I'll burn down a few grand for him today. The fact that he's going to come out today inside of his ER, I want to hear him speak again. The saddest part was that I didn't get to hear him anymore in ER, and I liked listening to him in ERs. See, I'll trade Tesla today. I'll buy it at the wrong time today. I don't care. I made my bags. I can make bad trades if I want to now. I'll drink the Kool-Aid today. Bring it on. Tesla 1200. That's what I want to see. I want to see like Tesla 1200. I want to see something stupid. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but I don't care. I'm long Tesla. I am long Tesla. Diamond hands, baby. Diamond hands. Hell yeah, I want to hear my man Elon talk. I love Elon Musk. And I don't like when they trip him up. 1200, that's what I want to see today. I do that. So just so everybody knows, right? I held like $30,000 or some nonsense like that into the close where he announced the stock split. I was holding that ER. That man made me more money. It's the third best trade I've ever made in terms of pure profitability. Third best trade I've ever made in my career. I owe that man some money. I do this every year for Tesla. I don't care how irrational it is. I drive his cars. I want to fund SpaceX, even if they say the companies are split. I want to fund Neuralink. I want to see Company X. And it would be hilarious if they split the stock. It would be hilarious. So yeah, I'm all in. Did you just tell me that 1200? Did you just tell me that Tesla to 1200 is got like a 1% chance? I like those odds. I like those odds. I'll take them. I'll take those odds. I'll buy the dip blindly off the bell. I'll take them. I'm in. I'm pumped. Bulls haven't had anything to be happy about in what? 5 weeks? I want to be happy today. Can I be happy today? Can Papa J not be Papa Polar Bear? Yeah, maybe. Can he save the markets today? Maybe. I don't care. You know what I care about? I want to be happy. I want to have a smile. I don't want to be taken along and then getting my throat cut on the close like what happened on the last bounce. I want to let it ride, baby. Oh, look at that, huh? Call's already printing at this point. Don't buy 1200 Cs. There are safer trades on Tesla. SPY's up to 442 right here. Woohoo. So this is a major resistance point on the SPY. Now, originally we had a lot of, it was higher. It was supposed to go to 450 and 455, but the resistance channel has come down. So we might trade up to 442. If we are able to, if we're able to squeeze shorts here, though, there is a chance that we could have a face ripper rally today. So I might think about, I want to see if we rest here. See where we are right here. I'd like to see if we rest above here and then maybe take this long. If we are able to break above 440, 442, this whole area here, there could be a nice chance of a squeeze play coming up. This is a major area of contention. I'm not even looking at the Tesla chart right now. I don't even care. I'm just going to hold them. Care less. Placed my trade. Don't care if they burn to zero. Yeah, so we'll see if we get a rejection here. This is a point where bears will step in. They'll lay back into their shorts. What you are looking for here, though, is you're looking for two things. You're looking for the conviction of bulls saying, nope, we're going to take this higher. You're looking for, do the bears actually show up? Or at this point, are they going to take their money and run? You're also looking to see if we trade sideways at this point until the Fed meeting. We talked this week about, do we think that the Fed is hawkish? Do we think he's bullish? I think for where we are right now, I think for what the banks are showing us, the banks kind of showed us their cards last night. They were willing to buy this market. Even if we trade it down to 400 or 390, when those bulls stepped in and bought Misfit yesterday, when they bought Microsoft, when they stepped in and bought all these companies yesterday that went down with it, even though the market is on a knife's edge, they showed their cards. They showed that there was a bottom that they were willing to buy. They showed that no matter what, if the market was to panic, they had the algo set to buy. When they showed that buy, that willingness to buy, that was something that you have to pay attention to. Because what they would have done, you've seen this in the past. You saw it on Snap. You saw it on Facebook. Remember the knee-jerk reactions? They were just looking for a reason to sell Facebook, right? Remember? Looking for a reason to sell it. Didn't matter if the news stuck. Didn't matter if the news was real. And they never went back and rebought right away. Matter of fact, they waited like weeks to rebuy Facebook again. So when you saw our company yesterday, or you saw all of big tech yesterday have a number where they got bought yesterday, it was key to see that because it shows that the banks are committed to this market. They just want to be in lower than you. So there is bottom to this market. That is a quiver for bulls that can't be denied at this point. That the banks are willing to buy it when you're not willing to buy it. Watching WFC come in. Calls on WFC. January 28th, 53C for 119,000. I don't like that. I don't like those calls. I think I even said those calls. I like HAL, H-A-L. June 17th, 40C. I like how the date on it. A little bit of time on there, right? Just June 17th, 40C. I see a lot of calls coming in on the banks. They've been doing it for 2 days now. Just lots of flow on banks in anticipation of the Fed meeting today. XLF, January 28th, 39.5C. Yesterday, stocks were accumulated on individual tickers on XLF. We have calls coming in on ARCH, A-R-C-H, February 18, 85C for $842,000. That's a big one for an $85 stock. We have RDS /B. RDS /B. $700,000 on February 18th, 52.5. More calls stacking up on the Qs. We have, just so you know, we're stacking calls on the Qs right now. If you don't want to trade an individual ticker in the Qs, right? Like, well, is Apple going to do his thing? Is AMD going to do its thing? Is this company going to do its thing? Is Tesla going to do its thing? If you just trade the Qs, you can take the average, right? Typically, you'll see 70% of big tech have a great ER. A great ER. So let's say you pick the wrong ticker for tech, you just buy some Qs. Safest way to play tech earnings is the Qs. XLV calls, January 28th, 128C. Oh, look at my burr on Tesla. Oh, yeah, look at that burr on Tesla. Burr, Tesla, burr. Give me that Tesla. Give me that. Give me some of that Tesla. Give me some of that Tesla. Can I get some of that? Give me some of that Tesla this morning. I want to see the bulls blast through 958. I want to see the bulls tear apart 964. I want to see the bulls eat up all resistance at 978. Price target above 1,000 minimum. Give me a smash and bash. Give me a crime scene for Tesla. Trap them and gap them. Run it, baby. Give me that premium kick. Give me some of that easy blind faith. Give me some of that old school Tesla bull juice. I want some of that I believe in Tesla. Plain old-fashioned, I believe in Tesla. Make it go burr. Yeah, we're pushing up today, folks. Bulls aren't on display. Bulls are not on parade. Bulls know what's up. Bulls know what's up today. I promise you. Shorts are scared. They're scared. Market wide, guaranteed. They're scared in the SPY. They're scared in ES. 100%. I would be. I was scared yesterday. Into that close yesterday, they showed their cards. It was not easy taking that trade yesterday after the bell yesterday. Everything was screaming that the market was crashing, but yet it wasn't. Watching hood calls come in. January 28th, 15C. I like it. I like it. I watched Wall Street Bets just shit-talking hood. I like trading against Wall Street Bets. Netflix calls. Great calls right here. July 15th, 400C. I understand Netflix could trade down to $200. But it ain't ever going down to $200 because someone's going to buy it before it gets there just because they're producing content in-house now. You take that trade for 5 years. Apple calls coming in. January 28th, 165C. CCL calls, just stacking them up this morning. Tesla about to break through resistance here. All you need is some bears out there, right? You just need some bears saying, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get out of my shorts. I'm going to get out of my puts. I'm going to wait until end of day to pick them up. And I'll be honest with you. If you're going to be a bear, I'd be waiting for it some point later today myself. You got Elon Musk coming out to face the reporters today. Could give 0 F's in the chat. 0 F's in the chat about what people think about him. He's pumped. You got Microsoft coming out last night. What did they say last night? We expect growth. Spy calls, January 26, 444C. $140,000. We haven't seen call side expansion and calls above in a month. I don't mean inside the channel. I mean outside of the channel. In a month, we haven't seen calls outside of the channel coming in. There are some tickers that I'm going to refuse to tell you about today. There's only one company to me that shines today. That's Tesla. Someone commented the other day or yesterday, I've seen more Teslas on the road than ever before. I agree with that statement. I've noticed it, but I have not seen it in some time. I haven't seen us bullish on the flow sentiment in a month. Even when we snap back, I didn't see the bullish flow sentiment. You know what I see today? 4-to-1 call buying. 4-to-1. So I'm not taking my cards off the table. I'm not buying. Normally, I'd take my profit here as they're bouncing off this 960. I'm long, baby. I'm long all day long. I'm long and strong. In Tesla, into close. I owe Papa Musk. I owe that man. Made me a better trader just trading over the years. Tesla. I owe him. I remember in the depths of hell. I remember the leap buying in the depths of hell. I remember when leaps were worthless for 6 straight months. This was years ago, 4 years ago or so. If I remember, every year it gets longer. I remember diamond handing leaps. I remember diamond handing them. I remember the tweet. I think it was something about like is the color of an apple or something like that. The color of an apple. I forget what that tweet was. Some long. I don't care we trade today in Tesla. I want to hold with Big Papa. You don't want to give me 750? I'll take it right where it's at. You guys see Tesla's going long and strong across everywhere? Excellent. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's weird. I didn't think, I knew it, but I never think about it, but I know it, right? In my mind, I know it. And then someone pointed it out and I said, man, I was like, he's right. I was like, he is right. I was like, I do see them everywhere now. I remember when it was rare to see a Tesla, but no, I see them all the time. There's a great aftermarket for Teslas. They are putting cars out. They are producing something. We know Tesla has its faults, but I'll tell you what, man, that guy's been going at it for a long time. You got these other car companies. They throw a room full of engineers together. I know these companies. They got a beautiful face on the outside, right? Some slick talker. Some huckster. Hires 100 engineers, pops them in a room. They all have backgrounds in Ford and GM. Then they hire a few select engineers that have worked on EVs for Tesla, right? And then what do? They draw a painting. And instead of making vehicles in-house, from start to finish, like Ford did back in the day, They send all that shit to another country. You have someone else do the actual work, design the parts, and manufacture them somewhere else. Or they just buy off the shelf. That's what they do. They piece together a car of off the shelf OEM shit. And then they're calling it their own car. Meanwhile, you got Tesla making mistakes over the years. Bumps, bruises. Refining. Trying to make a car for the common man. I'm in it. I get it. I'm long Tesla. I want to see what Tesla does. I want to hear what Papa Elon has to say today. I remember that news conference when he said, I will only be here if it's important. I will only be in the ER if it's important. Old man has to talk. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm showing up, brother. Calls on NVIDIA. January 28th, 245C, $99,000. IWM, January 26th, 204C, $70,000. We have to have another. We're gonna have a stock talk this weekend. We're gonna talk about gamma, volatility, dealer hedging. We're gonna talk about We're going to talk about one other thing. Excuse me. We're going to talk about one other thing, and now I'm forgetting all of a sudden off the top of my head. We have one more important topic to talk about this weekend. We're going to talk about IWM, I think, specifically. We have some work to do in IWM. That's going to take some time, even if the stock market goes up. IWM does have some structural damage to it. We can see what's taking place in companies like Piton. We're going to see wild swings. If you guys want to make a lot of money, it's going to be an IWM. More IWM calls coming in, more NVIDIA calls coming in, matching up to before. Lots of shorts on IWM at 204. Breaking out of their channel with force. RK calls coming in. We had a price target of $65 at RK, right? Remember that? Just sweeps across the board. February 18th, ADC. Remember when I told you that the news would change in RK? Remember when I told you that there will be a point where the news will change? RK, February 18th, 80C. Remember the time when Kathy Woods had no problem buying Cat? I got one positive thing to say about Kathy Woods. She doesn't own one company that is stuck in their stock. At her pleasure, she can add and remove companies from her fund. She can adjust, stick, and move. Sweeps, RK, February 18th, ADC. More IWM calls coming in. $500,000, January 28th, 205C. Those are outside the money. If we trade above 204, that is a major psychological trade right there. It will. There are shorts currently trapped right now at 201 on IWM. IWM has a huge chance of squeezing this morning. Worth watching. Huge chance. Haven't seen RK calls like that in a sweep in some time. I have to tell you. Have not seen millions rolling into RK. Saw people yesterday saying, or on social media yesterday, I saw people saying, I might dip my toes in at 45 or 55. I might dip my toes in. These are like longtime bears on RK. If you got long-term bears saying they might dip their toes in on RK, you know that you're going to hear news articles at some point saying, I'm buying RK. You know the sentiment is slightly changing. RK, more sweeps coming in. Same price target. February 18th, ADC. Rack them up another 100 grand. IWM, February 11th, 208C, $1 million. I smell a squeeze on IWM. That's what I'm smelling. I'm going to have to take some IWM calls right here. Hang tight. Give me just a second. IWM 211. I got 211, 208. Ooh, that's a good one. That's risky. More CCL calls coming in. CCL has more spread out call structure, like just like loading the boat on CCL across the board. Like number of high algo score calls coming out on CCL. Just crazy this morning. 10 orders. 9 orders of calls on SPY. Microsoft, QQQs, IWM. IWM just keeps climbing the list here. Tesla. Huge calls on Tesla. Someone else believes here. Tesla, January 28th. 950C, $1.4 million. I guess I'm not the only person that believes in Tesla today. RK, $1 million in calls. $1 million in calls on RK. Haven't seen that in a year. Haven't seen that since last December when all these shitbag hedge funds came on CNBC and said, there's still a great trade in RK and RKG. And then they started and sold down RK and all of its holdings for one straight year. They told you to buy it, and then it was coming back. Meanwhile, they sold their bags to you. I haven't seen $1 million in RK in one full year. I haven't seen it. I've seen small rips, stuff like that. I've never seen RK be tempting until it came down to 65. I bet they buy it here at 65. And I bet you're going to jump in when it's $100. Not you, but I know there's some of you out there that bought the top on RK too. SPY is now forming a base. That resistance is now becoming support. We saw what happened when we traded up to 440 yesterday, right? Full rejection. We started plummeting into the bell yesterday before we even had Microsoft report. Microsoft reports, hair triggers, right? We start selling everything down, all of tech, and lo and behold, It got bought. I tell you what, if the banks thought that today was going to be ugly, they would have let everything fall. They would have let us bleed into today. They already know that even if we bleed or we trade down, if there's any bad news at all today, they know where they're buying. There is hope. This market is not done. They lifted their skirt up yesterday and showed us. Doesn't matter if we trade down to 400. They showed their cards yesterday. That one ultra bull came on and said he was a buyer of Microsoft yesterday while it was burning. He came on CNBC. I forget his name. It wasn't just him buying. It was GS buying. It was JPM buying. They wouldn't have saved any of those companies yesterday after the bell, and they did it. They loaded the boat. We all saw it. We'll take a look at RK next. And we're going to take a look at CCL. Look at CCL first and see why everybody's on CCL. Probably shouldn't talk about CCL. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like big cruise ships, but I have to keep my Main Street hat and my trader hat to the side at some point, right? Never going to pump Nikola. I guess I will talk about CCL. Just a heads up that I am getting some internet interruptions on my end. If you can hear me out there, I'm getting actual interruptions on my internet. Give me just a second. I'm going to check on some. Rejection above off SPY. Looks like we have support down below on CCL at 18.12, 17.12. Just grinding here. You can see we have more buyers than sellers on CCL. Hero indicator is very positive right now. We'll take a look at the hero indicator on CCL and see what everybody's fussing about. utter rage from bears, utter rage from shorts. You have the, oh, wait a minute. I got a bunch of stuff for you guys. Hang tight here. I got calls coming in across the board on small caps, like MTTR calls, RSI calls, more RK sweeps, IWM sweeps, CCL calls, RSI. All these are all small tickers. RSI calls, SFT calls, DVN calls, FUTU calls, IWM calls, $200,000 on those. WMB calls. These are all tickers that are like 20, 30 bucks. HST calls DD, DI, DI. Calls on GENI. More RK sweeps. February 18th, ADC. CLNE calls. I've got puts on DWAC. Calls on Apple, another 120 grand. BSX calls, right? February 18th, 47C. AXP, if I'm guessing right here, this is probably people stepping in to trade ERs, right? Once big tech is done, you get in now on all these small cap reports that are coming out, and you front run IWM. Watching some puts on Viacom, January 28th, 31p for 20 grand. Some puts on LMT, February 18th, 385p for $300,000. Looks like an insider trade on that one. LMT. I'm going to buy myself some IWM calls coming in. I'm going to follow all of these traders on IWM. Where are they in? Where are all these IWM calls on? 211, February 11th. Some short-dated stuff. Let me see here. Where's the concentration of calls on IWM? February 11th, January 26th. No, you know what I'm going to ride? I'm going to ride some RK calls. February 18th, ADC. You know what? I'm going to throw some money at RK too. They deserve it. It's been a long time. I'll take that trade too. I made so much money today, I don't care. So they picked February 18th. I might go February 25th. You know what? I'm going to go with the same date. February 18th, 80C. They're at like 228 to 236 right now. I have an order in for those. Might take those up without those guys. Oh, yeah, I'm in. Boom. I'm in Arc K now. February 18th, 80C. And then at some point today, I'm going to buy. Might even buy it right now. I'm going to buy some 450C on the SPY. Might even go higher, just in case, right? Just in case. I'm going to buy something stupid. Something way outside of the money. You see 480, 457. Look at something far, far away. Let's look at SPY. Put some time on it. Let it marinate. Let's take a look. Huh. April 14th, 500C. April 14th, January, 4 months. 4 months. 60 cents. Yeah, we're going to throw a couple of those in there. All right. Whole bunch of stupid outside the money shit down the road 4 months from now. Gonna throw. Yeah, so I got a bunch of outside the money crazy stuff. I got a bunch of stuff that's 4 months away, just in case. Got some calls out there in April. Got some February calls. Got some fast January stuff for Tesla, just in case. Just in case this is the bottom. Doesn't even matter if we trade down to 400. Just a bunch of lottos with time on them. 4 month, not 3 4 month, 3 month lottos. We get that Vanna trade. All right. Won't talk about those again for like 2 months. We'll come back to those. Have some puts coming in on CMCSA. January 28th, 49p. Rack of them. Calls coming in on Misfit. Calls coming in on XOM. Some energy trade calls coming in. Calls in NVIDIA. Puts on the VIX. Calls on Chewy. February 18th, 50C. Calls on the Qs. January 26th, 353C. Puts on SPY, January 26th, 439 P for $176,000. Excuse me. My throat hurts today from all this talking. There's some February calls out there. Hopefully I can trade that trade for small caps coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll let those ripen up. Then I've got some calls on the SPY for April. I've got some day trades on Tesla because I want to be vested heading into the ER statement today. Bears are going to load up here. We already know this. We talked about this yesterday. At that 440 level, you've got a boatload of shorts. You've got a boatload of sellers that are panicking above from here at this point, right? So they're going to start loading the boat here for this thesis that we go back down to that 408, 418 level. But I think that there's two things going on. You're going to see the market trade sideways into the FOMC meeting and statement later today. You've got some heavy hitters that are going to report today and tomorrow. You've got this thought that we're going to head down to 408 and 419, and I still agree with this, but I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens today. And we have one other thing happening, and that is there's a ton of puts rolling off this market. Short-dated puts that are rolling off this market. And if bears don't keep reloading and just keep adding, and this morning, you know what I haven't seen? I haven't seen any put hedging. All I've seen is just retail bears. That's all I see today. The bullish indicator this morning, 93%. Haven't seen that in a dog's age, in a month. Put to call ratio, 5 to 1. No, more now. It's 6 to 1 on calls. 6 to 1 on calls this morning. So you know what the bulls are saying? I don't believe you. The bulls are saying, you know, Captain Jim, we could have went down there, but we're going to go up first. So if they're saying we're going up, I'll throw you some money. They haven't really said we're going up in a month. You have the snapback trade, but this time it is different. So everything is stacking up against the bears this morning. Doesn't matter where we trade. Doesn't matter if shorts are stepping in. Doesn't matter if the bears are there in the background. What matters is that there's a sentiment change, even if they're not telling you this in the market. I want you to know that there was a sentiment change. I want you to know, even if we trade down for a moment, even if we have this moment where a short operation comes out and drops the market briefly so they can get a better position, that there is somewhat of a sentiment change in this market. I know that most of you felt it yesterday. Hands down, there was a sentiment change. Now we've got calls coming out on POSH 318, 117.5 C. We've got calls coming out. SPY, January 26th, 439 C for $168,000. Two sets of block trades on DOCS, DOCS, May 20th, 45 C for almost $400,000. Lots of bid coming in for small and mid caps heading into their ER season after being beaten down for an entire month. Let's look above to see where the sellers are on RK. We know that firm support is building at 70 bucks. We know that the banks stepped in at 65, even if they're lying to you. We know they did, right? Almost to the pin. They bought it right here. We have new support at 70. These are probably new bulls stepping in saying, hey, can you come back down so I don't miss the boat? I want to FOMO in. Doesn't matter what the technicals are. Doesn't matter. None of this matters. The only thing that matters is that people are buying it. Price target above 80 bucks. Light resistance at 75 and 77. These sellers right here gone. I like to see price targets above on tickers. We talk about this every day, right? When I only see black and light blue above, means that there's no interest. When you start to see price targets above like this, there is now interest. It's one small thing. Let's see if we can get. Let's see if the hero indicator tells us anything. If there is even one for RK. Haven't seen any interest in RK. Other than the banks buying that dip, I didn't see anything come through. Watching calls on SLB, $39 ticker, January 28th, $34,000. It's an energy trade. Calls on JNPR, January 28th, 32C for $235,000. So, like, some of these tickers you could take. Some of them have nice long dates on these calls. But what are you really looking for? You're really looking for, where's the concentration of calls this morning? It's all on small and mid caps. They're all betting down the road that there are going to be some good reports on small caps. So if you want to take a safer bet, it's probably an IWM. It's probably an RK. $73.22 on RK, 65.18 on RK, 60.29 on RK. Those are your three support levels. Your price targets above. $76, $82, $89, $94, $99. We'll look at SPY, and then we'll look at IWM, and we'll take a look at Tesla thereafter. The cashback gap fill is somewhere at 434.17 on SPY. Do I have that right? Hold on. Yeah, 430. Let me take a look. I didn't see what the close was yesterday. 434.56. So we'll take a look at 434.56. See if there's a gap fill to be had. And I'm going to be looking to make entry today for the FOMC meeting, somewhere for FDs at some point today. I'm going to wait for just before. Usually I wait for about 1:30 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock sometimes. It seems like I used to wait till 1:30, and then last FOMC minutes, it seemed like people were loading up before. It was like 1 p.m. So maybe like 12 o'clock today. We're going to look for which side everybody's on. and see if everybody is long or short this FOMC meeting. See where all the weight is, see what costs the most, and then we'll take a straddle on the SPY so that we can trade both directions. We'll cut one side loose, and we'll stay in the other side that prints. So that, well, we'll look at that. We're gonna check back. We're gonna look at the SPY right now. We're gonna take a look at it right around 12 o'clock. If we don't see anything shaping up at 12, we'll take a look at it at 1 p.m. And if we have to wait until 1:30, we will. There is one word of caution on FOMC, especially the meeting itself, is you might hear really great news, or let's say you hear really bad news. Then later on, when he's being interviewed, you'll hear negative or positive come out. So let's say he's positive and he's super dovish. Then inside of his question and answer, you'll hear really negative stuff come out. And you'll sometimes see weakness for a brief moment, and then we rock it up. Or you'll see us rock it up and then come back down. So be conscious of that as we head into FOMC today, that the real moves start happening later on, typically. Not always, but typically. So timing is key today on FOMC. Found some buyers here at 437.25 on the SPY. We're going to look a little bit closer and see if that 434 is still viable or not. If we will trade down to that 434. See if this is where the banks are. You got this level right here, right? You can see it right here. 437.58. Large buyers stepping in. 437.13 or so. See this right here? 436, 435. Looks slightly lower. Looks like some major support setting up here at this 434 level. If you want to take less risk, look for a price target at some point today on the SPY at 434. Well, let's say we sell below. Let's say we sell the market today. Let's look to see where they are. That's positive. I like seeing that. Right down here at 430. Heavy support. You can see it over here on the right-hand side. $427 would be another target. 427.09. One of my favorite parts of this market is it is a forward-looking market, usually. So once the FOMC down here, 420, I'm revisiting this a long time ago. What I like about this market is once the dirty laundry is out, typically gets more bullish again. 418, we'll look below at that 418 number, see if they're still down below at the 400 or if they've come up. 415, lots of buyers. 410. Doesn't look like anybody's planning to be lower than this. Yeah, this 408 looks like an area. So go back to the top here. We'll see if there's anything firming up above. We're going to look above here and see. We're below VWAP right now. Nice place to buy below VWAP. We want to look above and see outside of the shorting of the active shorting of the markets. 443. I would assume these sellers will come down to 443. $445, $447. These aren't really big resistance areas. We're looking for bigger, redder lines. 450. What is that? 447. 446.94. Let's see where the banks originally got in. Way above. Lots of traffic to get up here. 455.44 of note. Let's look higher. $461.30 is of note. A big no right there. There's a big squeeze area up here, 460s. See where the big boys are short. Let's look at that 480. Right up here. See that right there? There they are. 475. Just high, not above. And there it is right there. This is the magic sauce right here. 479.89. Big Daddy right here. VWAP traders stepping in right now in the SPY. Get a little bit more granular here. All right, let's look at some other stuff coming in right now, or has been coming in. You got bears stepping in with put flow. Still not of any structure though. I mean, in past days, I'm seeing SPY puts right down to 435, 439, 440, but all like $100,000, $200,000. They don't have the same. It's not like 140. It's not like three sets of 140. They're all different prices. They have low algo scores. So January 26th, right? These are all short dated just for today. January 26th, 435p, 439p, 440p, only dated for today. No hedging coming in right now that I can see. But I do see calls on JNPR, January 28th, 32C for $325,000. I see calls on Misfit, which is MSFT, Microsoft, February 18th, 310C, February 18th for $300,000. Calls on SQ with a high algo score, January 28th, 130C. More calls on SQ, both with high algo scores, both at that same strike and date, January 28th, 130C. Seeing some heavy puts on DKNG, February 4th, 21p. Seeing some puts on NEO, January 28th, 23p, but it's small money. It's like 34 grand. But DKNG, I've got three sets for some significant money, almost $300,000. That's pretty big for DKNG being a $21 ticker. See QQQ's February 28th, 330p for $500,000. Seeing racks of SPY come out right now. SPY January 26th. That's dated for today, 439C. January 26th, 439C for about $600,000. Seeing puts come in on the Qs. January 28th, 330P for $500,000. Beyond calls February 11th, 75C for $75,000. Have bears in full rage mode right now. Full rage mode. They just placed QQQs February 28th, 330P for $674,000. The SPY is squeezing just as SPY February 28th, 415P comes in for $1.3 million. They're double downing. They're saying that it doesn't matter what you do in the next 3 to 4 days. Doesn't matter if you trade up on a short squeeze into the next few days. If you tag up there at 450 or 440 or whatever it is, 446, we're still going down. So they're doubling down. They're saying no way this market goes higher. And technically, we should go down and retest one more time. I can't say that we don't retest one more time at this point, but we do know that every once in a rare while, we will not. Sometimes you are on the wrong side of the trade. You might see that hedging activity slightly impact the market right now, but you still have call flow coming in. Not call hedges, but call flow. So you have SPY 228, 415P that just came in, right? Now that's a hedge. But then you have, well, it's a sweep. I shouldn't say it's a hedge, it's a sweep. But to say that, but as that comes in, someone just bought a bunch of SPY calls dated for today. So you're going to see a wash at some extent on this stuff. More calls on SPY dated for today. 443C, $132,000. So we got Tesla next. Let me close out the SPY. I can leave that one. There you go. Better's market. DXJ 819.22. DXJ 65C, $177,000. Nice long dated trade into August. Snap January 28th, 33C for $13,000. So let Tesla load. I've got calls out there for the SPY in April. I've got calls out there for RK in February. And I'm holding Tesla into the close today. Could care less where Tesla trades at this point. I'll hold them, diamond handed them. I'll let them burn to the ground. I could care less. That's my donation to big old Papa Pump. My donation to Papa Elon Musk. I don't believe the bears today. I don't care about the spookiness. I don't care if they burn down to zero. I made my bank yesterday. I get to do whatever I want with it. And I'm betting the other way today. I'm betting against the bears today. One whole month. Haven't seen bullishness like this in one whole month. Even in that snapback, I didn't see this bullishness. I see bullish today. I'll take that risk on. I want to hear what the old man has to say today after the bell. I'm going to roll the dice today. I can because I won. What's going on? I missed a bunch of stuff. I wasn't reading anything you guys are talking about. Did I miss something? Thank you, Johnny Reb, for the information. I wasn't paying attention to the feed, and I wasn't paying attention to news. I was just looking at all the call structure and the put structure this morning. Yeah, I don't have to be careful today. I made so much money. We got some weird shit going on my feed today, too. I don't know what's going on with it, but I got some weird stuff going on with my feed today. Yeah, thanks, Johnny, for putting that out there. What was going on in the feed over here? Yeah, I mean, I don't care mode today. I'm going to believe the bulls for a moment, no matter what the flow is saying. Because the flow, even though we're trading sideways right now, it is to be expected for FOMC. But I'm gonna take the bull chance today. I got mostly long dated calls. If they burn, they burn. I don't care. I just don't. I did well. This is the first shift I've seen in sentiment in a month. Real shift in sentiment. So I'll take that risk. I'll throw on some FDs at some point on IWM and the SPY with some protection as we get closer to FOMC today. The only thing that I'm just buying blindly is Tesla. I owe Tesla that. Yeah, when I say Tesla's made me money, you wouldn't believe me. It would be an insult to some people out there to know how much money I've made from Tesla. So I'm not gonna even entertain not putting my tip cup, my what would you call it, tithing, like my tithing to Tesla. I'm gonna give my tithing to Tesla. I'm gonna give it every ER until I'm an old man and dead. It's like going to church. You got to pay it. You don't have a choice. I don't care if Gary Black sells calls on ERs. I relish that one ER that comes by every once in a while where it moonshots 300 points. And every time it's done that, it's been a memory in my brain that I'll never forget. I'll trade it and lose it 10 times and still take that risk on Tesla on ER. Paying the Tesla tax. Oh, I forgot. Gary doesn't sell CCs ER week. Yeah, I know all the rules on Tesla. I don't care. Johnny Reb's like, I'm trading with my emotions today. I'm not trading my whole account on Tesla, but I made some money. So yeah, I'm going to pay the Tesla gods. I'm going to pay to play. I'm going to take a leap of faith. I got it. I've done it before. Feels good doing it. Especially with, you know what this feeling is? It's that feeling where you say, I can lose this money. I don't care if it burns to the ground. It's like you're sitting at a poker table today, and there's like 10 bears at the poker table. And I'm super bearish right now, and I go, you know what? I ain't believing the bears today. Today I don't believe them. I didn't believe the bulls the other day on that snapback play either. At all. we closed our calls at the end of the day on that snapback trade. And I know a ton didn't. Today, I don't believe the bears. And I could be wrong. That's fine if I'm wrong. But I just printed enough that I can be wrong today. Yeah, it's that fuck you money. Exactly. Only a few followed me yesterday. I closed my calls at the bell today. I told you what I was doing. I took my money and ran. So now I'm going to piss some of it away. I'm going to donate to the bull jar today. Donate some love to the bulls. They've gotten no love from me for a month. There you go. There's my love. There's my love for the bulls today. Money in the tip jar. The tithing jar. I'm tithing the bulls. I'm tithing Elon Musk. Straight wrecked RK for an entire year. We've literally abused RK for an entire year. I'll throw her some money. She can have some money. No problem tithing money today to the bulls. Yeah, what's the Tesla play? Do you want to know the real Tesla play? I've said what trades I placed today. I've said them 3 times, 4 times. I'm not going to keep repeating them. But I have. If you go back in the video, I've talked about every trade that I've made today. Show up on time in the morning. Be here every single morning. Oh, you're late? I'm on some Tesla FDs. Expiring on the 28th. If you want to know how to trade Tesla, trade it with a strangle. If no one's ever told you that. Always trade Tesla ERs on a strangle. I'm on some February 18th ADCs for RK. I'm on April. What am I on? Hold on, let me take a look. I'm on April 14th, 500C. SPY. April 14th, 500C. SPY. I'm on Tesla 1200Cs, expiring January 28th. If I'm gonna burn my money on Tesla, right? Here's the deal. You guys want, not that you should ever follow me on this. If you're gonna play Tesla, right? There's only 2 ways Tesla trades. It's either going to the moon or it's going into the shitter. Any of you guys out there that are like, oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play in the money calls on Tesla ER on the day of ER. I'm going to buy $30 calls. Go home. Because the only thing that's printing is outside the money calls. So I got a bunch of free shit tickets on Tesla. 1200C. No, I'm not pissed off about it. I just don't. Recently I've had some people talking in the chat that are creating issues. So just for today, so I'm on RK February 18th, ADC, and I'm on SPY April 14th, 500C. I'm not pissed at any of you guys out there either. I won't make you guys think I'm pissed. You guys know what I'm talking about. Because yesterday I'm sitting there trying to watch the market. I couldn't pay attention to the chat. And then the chat's blowing up with stuff that's not relevant to what we're talking about. We were talking about yesterday coming out of a long trade at 440 and then trying to pick it back up if we broke above 440. We bounced off it. We came down into the close. And as we're coming down to the close, this conversation is consuming the entire channel. And it's consuming me. And I'm trying to pay attention to the action into the bell and after the bell. And it was critical because we were having an impact the market wide across the market. And the best trade yesterday, for me at least, overall, all day long, was buying that capitulation after the bell at 405, 410. And then I tried to double down on my trade. And I tried to add a double it, go to 400 contracts. And I messed up my price that I put in. So in the last minute of the bell, I could have made double the money today. So I'm kind of upset this morning. I'm happy this morning, but I'm kind of upset because I'm trying to pay attention to the moves that are made in the market when they're critical for me to make money. And if that's taken away from me, I'll just shut the feed down. You're stopping me from eating, and you're clouding what we're trying to do here. We can have discussions and all that kind of stuff. I'm fine with discussions. But I don't like when there's noise at critical moments in the market. And there were some critical moments in the market yesterday, for me at least. So this morning, when we're talking here, telling you guys my trades, my thought process behind my trades, why I'm making these trades. If you want my serious trading later today where I care about the trade, it's going to be right before the FOMC. We're going to check on it at 12 o'clock. We're going to check in at 1 o'clock. And we're more than likely going to put some kind of a straddle on the FOMC trade. Right now, there's a lot of calls coming in again. Once again, we've got calls on SPY, PFE, SPY, $150,000, 439C. FUBU has calls coming in on it. PFE has calls coming in at C. More calls on the banks. BAC, February 18th, 50C. Calls on gold. I did look at gold yesterday. Good job for the gold bugs out there. Any of you metal people, you guys did really well in that trade. Calls on NOC. More calls on SPY, 443C, $108,000. Calls on HUT. Calls on the Qs, $220,000. Calls on SPY, January 26th, 439C. Calls on another car company. I'm not focusing on other car companies today, except for Tesla. You won't hear me talk about other car companies today. Qs, January 31st, 365C on the Qs. All my trades are green right now. All my trades are green. All three in the green right now. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways to set straddles. What I tend to do is this, so like early in the day, if I have the time and right now as streaming, I don't have the time to do this. But normally if it's just me trading, what I'm looking for is I'm looking to buy puts cheap, and then I'm looking to buy calls cheap, right? If it swings up and down heading into an event like FOMC, I'll take a nice cheap put. Then I'll take a nice cheap call. I start to do the math on them. I literally use a piece of paper. I don't take them way outside the money, nothing crazy. Well, sometimes I will. I'll take like it depends. I have to do the math first. And what I want to make sure of is that I can, if let's say I burn let's say the calls are 10 cents, and let's say the puts are $1. This is just as a baseline. I'll make sure that if we're going down, that the 10 cent, that the move on the downward side is going to print more than 10 cents, right? And I'll eat that profit off that 10 or that loss on that 10 cents, knowing it better print $1.20 at minimum. Directionally. I have to also know that those 10-cent calls, they have to print to absorb whatever I'm going to cut the other side from, right? Let's say the put started at $1 and we start ripping up. I have to be able to quickly get out of those puts and take no less damage than, let's say, 70 or 30 cents off them. But now those 10-cent calls, I have to have a ton of them, and they need to print 300-400%. So sometimes it takes me a long time to figure it out. It takes sometimes a day or two to figure it out. Sometimes there's a moment the day before where I can buy the put side, and then I have to wait to buy the call side the day of. Typically on events like today, it's the put side that's the most expensive. So you try to find a moment where they're dirt cheap. Get them as cheaply as you possibly can. Usually there's not a lot of premium on the call side, so you can kind of wait for those. Watching a lot of SPY and QQQ calls coming in right now. Tons. $1 million. Rack them up. SPY January 26th, 439C for $200,000. Qs, 118 grand, 365C. SPY January 26th, 443 for $150,000. SPY January 28th, 442C, $500,000. AEM, high algo score. AEM, Alpha Echo Mike. January 20th, 2023. That's 1 year from now. They want to buy some stock. 75C for $241,000. Looks like somebody did some due diligence. AEM. Yeah, you know, Mess Ray's got a good point. That's another way to trade. I've traded straddles like that too, right? I've done them in different dates. Like you could take a trade. You can do straddles all kinds of different ways, right? Strangles same way. You pick a direction for today, and you hedge yourself on the other side farther dated. It looks like some of this structure is like that today too. Looks like some people are stepping in this morning saying, yeah, there's a high probability that we're going down to 418 or so, or 420 or whatever. But I'm just going to play the call side for today and hold some hedging back towards that retest down below. I've done that. I've sold two sides of a straddle as well. I have done that. That's a very fair point. Whoever posted that above. Oh, is Quinn in the chat today? My boy Quinn. Good morning, Quinn. How are you? Good to see you, brother. You going to bring up Bitcoin, Quinn? I can see you guys in the chat again. Okay, so we're not long on Bitcoin. Let's bring up Bitcoin for Quinn. Let's look at Tesla real quick. Oh, look at that. Smashing and grabbing on Tesla, baby. Me and Quinn are very close friends, just so all of you know that. We agree to disagree all the time. Quinn does some outstanding research on this market, picks great tickers. Man knows what he's doing. I have full faith and trust in Quinn at all times. Look at this. Look at this Tesla smashing and grabbing over here, just murdering it, destroying the bears. Tesla's saying, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. We're going to look up. So we got Tesla just smashing and grabbing. Bull in a china closet on Tesla. Tesla. Hero indicators positive. Buyers are making another run higher on Tesla. We're going to look up Bitcoin for my man Quinn. Make sure you seek him out on Twitter. He is a part of the gang. I'll get back to posting about stocks once Bitcoin dies. I love you, Quinn. Hold on here. Wait a minute. We might have to turn off Spy real quick. Okay, we're gonna disconnect from the DX feed. Getting all kinds of weirdness going on here. GDX doesn't want to connect. We're going to bring up just GDX for Quinn. Whenever Quinn stops in, we're going to stop everything just for him. Whenever Markets and Mayhem stops in, we're going to stop everything for him. Here's a whole crew. There's a whole posse out there. A bunch of Tesla bulls. I'll stop everything for them. A whole bunch of guys I've been trading with for a long time, so. Let's check out Bitcoin as it loads up for my man Quinn. More calls coming in across the board here. Lots of small and mid caps. Hot. AEM. More AEM calls. AEM, ready? We saw a bunch earlier. January 20th, 75C, $241,000. AEM, January 20th, 75C, $800,000. Got calls coming in on CPNG, Grab, CVX, SPLK. Lots of small and mid cap calls coming in the set today. Ultra bullish on small and mid caps. Just a minute, Quinn. Oh, did I make a mistake here? AEM, good point. Thank you, Winky. I didn't pay attention close enough. AEM, it's January 20th, 2023. More calls on Twitter. The redheaded stepchild, Twitter. You know, I got a funny story about Twitter. Yesterday, my two daughters were talking about the actor from Game of Thrones. Littlefinger. No, not Littlefinger. Who was the other guy? My daughters yesterday, it's terrible. My daughters yesterday said they were talking about Tyrion Lannister. And they didn't know the actor's name. And my wife didn't know Pete Dinklage's name, right? Peter Dinklage's name. And she's trying to figure it out. And so they're just over there arguing about it, talking about it. What's his name? And I'm just sitting there waiting, and I go, I know that guy. I know that actor. I go, that guy is rich. I go, but he owns Twitter. My wife goes, no, he doesn't. And I go, yeah. They go, that actor's name is Jack Dorsey. My wife gave me the evilest look in the world. She was very upset at me. So now my kids think that Jack Dorsey is the actor from Game of Thrones. So basically, Jack Dorsey is the actor from Game of Thrones. I don't know why this isn't loading. Having some real issues with the DX feed and the BTC feed this morning. I'm not exactly sure why. having some internet issues this morning. It's not my computer. I did reboot my computer and my internet this morning, make sure everything was okay. I think it's either my internet specifically. I'm having some issues this morning. We've had a couple big snowstorms here, and so I don't know if it's just my connection. It should load up here in just a minute. We're very close. It does look like Bitcoin is sitting on some kind of support. Some kind of major support here. We'll let this load up a little bit more. Yep, all my calls are green. Love to see it. So what I want to talk about on Bitcoin here is, this is some major support on Bitcoin. This 38,000 level. We do have more sellers than buyers on Bitcoin currently, or at least that's what it's showing at this point. Here we go. We have more sellers than buyers here on Bitcoin. 38,202 currently. We'll try to look below and see if you're bearish on Bitcoin, if you are Quinn, and if you are me, I'm bearish on Bitcoin as well. Some people are making comments that Bitcoin's been trading a lot with tech, that it's a speculative asset class. It's so that it's going to trade similar to speculative growth stocks. You know, my take on Bitcoin is slightly different than most. I feel like sometimes, yes, there is confluence and then there's divergence on Bitcoin. The one thing that's proved best for me with Bitcoin, you can use those as small indicators on Bitcoin, or at least I do sometimes slightly.